Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We got a fun one for you today. This is episode 1 of a series I'm calling Raise the Floor, my efforts to become a better disc golfer. I stopped by Foundation recently and asked Trevor if he would mind helping me out launch this series and give me a coaching round. Trevor, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Trevor Staub. I'm one of the members of Foundation Disc Golf. If you haven't seen us, you can search us on YouTube, check us out. I also have my own channel called Trevor Staub Disc Golf. Make sure to check that out too. Yeah, looking forward to hopefully helping you out. See if there's any advice I can give. I'm not the best disc golfer, but I'd say I've been playing for over a decade. I've learned a few things, so see what I can do.
I'd say you've thrown a few more frisbees than
I've
me.
thrown a lot. I've thrown a lot.
All right, let's go have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, hole 1 here at Timbrook. Standard shot for me as a fairway driver. I'll throw the Sphinx quite often, but it's a bit breezy today and gusty. This has a little bit more torque resistance to it, so hopefully I can just get it up the gap.
Oh, I like that.
And leave it to one of the better throws I've had in quite a long time. Oh man, that looked like it was
Very
much
nice.
farther.
It was a great line.
Am
great
I?
line. Up the hill. Okay, concurred. That was good. That was good. I think that disc is going to work for you on a lot of holes out here. Nice release. Good start. Nothing to add to that yet. Nothing
Awesome.
to add to
Thank
that.
you. Cool.
All right, so we're going paradox to the left line is what you like here?
Yeah, slight hyzer. So this is actually the first time that I'm playing these holes with my full bag.
Okay.
Normally I just come out with a grip 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
So this is the first time that I've had this, but in my mind, this is the right disc for that shot.
Okay.
And then I'll show you what I've been trying.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I kind of run up from there. Oh, that was bad. That was bad enough to be okay, but that's that late. I think like my shoulder's opening up or something. I'm not really sure what's going on.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that I'd like to try to correct.
Okay, I'll try to look for that.
And then this is what I've been trying. Which went
Decent.
Not horrible
so
either.
Would you just say you're mostly forehand or backhand dominant? You don't
yeah,
really go
I've had old shoulder injuries,
Fair
so
enough.
I'll use my forehand, but it scares me with like the labrum area and
Right.
rotator cuff.
Yeah, the problem with this hole is that backhand line. It's tough because you want, like, the shot you're trying to throw is a pretty quick turnover, and it's actually really long through that tunnel before you want the disc to move right.
More of a forehand shape.
So that's where it becomes a forehand shape. I almost wonder if the backhand, like up the middle, is really the best option. I know it's tight, but it's not that much tight.
Right, honestly, it does.
You go ahead and play through, man. We were jumping around.
During editing, I realized that I neglected to hit play after that gentleman played through here. So to carry on the conversation, what Trevor was telling me is, in breaking down this hole, essentially what you need to do is make sure you get past this first clump of trees. I was choosing a route that is both difficult and not my strong suit, and that was leaving me in bad positions nearly every time I played this hole. So Trevor's advice was to take a mid-range, go right up the gut. He let me realize that the gaps are not sized very much differently. I was under the impression I was going for the larger gap, when ultimately this center gap is not a bad option. And has a tendency to allow me to push way farther up toward the basket. Even if I miss, my miss is traditionally yanked to the right. There's a sneaky little gap in there that'll allow me to get most of the fairway traversed, pitch up and down for a par, or maybe even have a look at a birdie. Let's move on. First video I did here, I gave you a shout out for that stinking tree.
Dude, it's the
I hope
worst.
it'll just fall already.
It's the worst. I know. I've had multiple shots that were really good. Hit that thing. What are we liking here?
I typically go buzz here.
Okay.
But to get it there, I have a tendency to yank it.
Yeah.
So
well,
I've been thinking maybe passion.
Here's what I would suggest. I would go driver for sure, because you got to remember, when you have an up slant hole like this and you can see, think about it this way. If you can see land behind the chains, right? That's telling you there's a pretty good wall behind the basket. So I'm not going to be able to go long realistically on this hole, barely ever. There's a wall, there's land behind the basket. There's a wall of trees. The chances of me throwing an awesome driver shot and going
like
long
out
to a
into
point,
the field,
right, very slim to none.
Right.
So you always want more than enough disc. I would go driver. I would also say, if you feel like you need to get on it, you know, this hole presents quite a bit of space to the left early on this hole. There's also a lot more opportunity on the left to get sneaky. So I would say if your miss is a little bit of a yank, aim at like that angled tree, you know, aim
Yeah,
somewhere left
okay.
to where if you do pull it a little bit, you're back in the middle. And if you let it go there, you still got a great chance to flip off that tree or to just get sneaky left. You can get a lot of counter skips. Maybe try to attack the hole that way. Think of the fairway as moving in this direction so that if you pull it, because pulling it right early is not fun.
No,
Not a fun one.
I've experienced that.
Not a good spot.
All right, I like it. Disc up. Go with the passion
Yeah,
again.
I'll even like I'll disc up on this hole all the time because you'll never go long here.
Right. It makes a lot of sense. It had never occurred to me, but you know, I watch plenty of golf and I know that.
Well,
so.
the thing about driver too is if you launch it into the hill and you're 90 short, it's going to bounce up that hill. And you're going to skip up.
That's true. And there's the yank.
Love it. And
And
look
I
at
missed
that.
everything.
See that? So there you go.
And
You
that's
pulled it over,
and
but it
that's-
saved you.
And that's the best position that I've been in
There
on
you
this
go.
hole off the tee so
There you
far.
go.
Also,
Yeah.
I like it.
That's I'm pretty familiar with that because that's how Hunter plays the game.
Yeah, you know, I figure he and I are kind of similar. Hopefully, I can catch us in frame here as we're walking. I figure he and I are kind of similar. One of the numbers. Oh, I forgot to do the intro. By the way, I've thrown a tech disc before.
Okay.
I throw about 48 to 50 is my
Mhm.
stock shot.
Yeah.
About 900 RPMs, and then if I really get on it, those go up to like 55 or 56
Mhm.
and about 1,000.
Yeah. Plenty of usable distance.
And my stock shot is about 12 or 13 degrees hyzer.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I can tell you definitely favor the hyzer release. Not a
Right.
problem.
So this is yet another hole. We're on hole 11 here. Lake down on the left in case you can't see it in frame. Really the worst thing that you could do is hyzer out into the lake.
Yeah.
Typically for me at 250, I'm reaching for the buzz again.
Okay.
But based on what we've been talking about for the past couple holes, I think I should just probably back off this a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I would say, yeah, the only difficulty on this hole is obviously with the water and because the land is moving left. Anytime you have a drop going left, the disc is going to want to do that as well because as soon as you give it the chance, you know, there's more air underneath it. It's going to
Right,
keep
it's
moving left. So when you attack this hole, you have to just think, A, do I keep it low? Am I going to try and give it at least flat angle so that it's not going left right away? And then, or do you want to just try to keep it wider than normal? On this hole, you don't have a ton of space to the right of the basket. I would say with your shot, I'd be just thinking, let's keep it somewhat low and aim at the basket. So that way, if we rip it over, not the end of the world, you know, with your miss being right, you're probably not going to find any trouble left here. As long as we don't, you know, stall it up in the air too much. That would be the only difficulty.
right.
But I think if you keep that low and just think right at the basket, nice and low, that should work just fine.
Cool. All right, that's what we'll do.
Love it. Love it.
All right.
A little bit short, but the line was great. The
Right.
line was great. Yeah.
And I can, over time, over the course of this series, I can implement these tips, even just in what I'm throwing, I feel like is helping me throw more smoothly.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to yam on a 5-speed, I'm coasting out an
Yeah.
8-speed.
Sometimes the best way to kind of reset and get better is to just disc up, smooth it, and just remember that you can throw really straight shots. I need that sometimes.
Yeah, and honestly, that disc reminds me of it every time I pull it out of my bag.
Yeah.
So I generally would reach for a sphinx on that length of a shot, but at that distance, it's going to want to hyzer and skip toward the lake.
Right.
So bad choice for this one.
Yeah.
That's why I normally throw the buzz.
That worked out though.
All right. So what do you think so far as my form is concerned? Are you seeing any major red flags? Anything?
Not really at all. I got to be honest. Like your backhand is really smooth. Like I said, I think that your miss being right is fine. Like it's not that severe, and like that's not a bad place to miss. Is right. Like I think that missing left is way worse, and I say that as somebody who typically does miss left.
Right. I've seen that.
Because I feel like the right miss is usually more arm related. I think the left miss is usually more lower body related, and I think that is more difficult to work out. But no, I mean, these smooth backhands with these passions, like you can get around any course doing that. And we'll see if we try to open up on some of these more open holes, throw a little harder.
Right.
Maybe then we'll see some things to work on. But so far, I mean, you got a really nice backhand, really smooth.
Well, I really appreciate it,
Yeah.
man. This is a perfect shot for my jawbreaker roach. The wind's died down a bit since we started, so that's nice.
Yeah.
So far, this has been really, really good. I was kind of expecting to come get some form cues, but it turns out that I've been doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Thank you for the compliment on that. So what's happening here is Trevor's teaching me a lot about the game of golf, not necessarily how to throw a Frisbee, but why to make certain decisions and how to get around the course and score better.
Yeah.
So in that respect, the wind just picked back up. So I'm going to switch from this to my zone, which is a very similar flight, but this is a more guaranteed fade in this wind.
Yeah.
And my play is to just chuck it out to the right. So based on your advice, I'm going to go more at the basket. Yeah. And if I miss, should still be safe.
Yeah, let's try going at it hard and try to get a flatter flight out of this one and see what happens here. I want to kind of see what you do.
Gotcha. All right. My Jaguana. This is another run I wish they would do again.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Old school.
All right, right at it. Oh, there's the yank.
Okay.
That comes out so much more frequently when I try to get to flat or Annie.
I think so. I think what I saw there was your compensation to try and get your disc to flat was less of an arm position. And I think you were trying to do more of a lean, but what you actually did is you twisted ahead of your arm. You just kind of got your body open too quick. So instead, when you're throwing those flat shots, some people have to think about the lean back to get an anhyzer. I think you might actually help by maybe just lifting up that arm a little bit. Think instead of like your normal release is here, which is a great spot, but on a short shot like this, you don't really need a ton of power anyways.
Right.
So maybe grab like your more overstable buzz or that pyro and try to throw another one and try to think about keeping the disc up here and just pulling it straight across your chest and try to keep the disc flat that way. See how that feels.
Okay.
Sometimes that works for people. Yeah, just try to keep that. It's like the angle with your elbow and wrist is like you're normally here. You need to get it up here for this type of shot.
Okay.
You're probably going to have to,
wrist.
for you to get it to go flat, you're going to have to over-exaggerate it. Golf fixes, got to over-exaggerate, and you'll think you're throwing like this, and you'll actually be here.
Gotcha.
So try to think to yourself, arm up, maybe wrist above elbow, and you'll probably end up throwing it flat.
Okay.
Let's just see what it looks like. Don't even worry about the result. Just think about the arm angle. There you go. Look at that.
And I feel like I still tried to compensate with my body a little bit there, but that felt like one of the better anhyzers that I've thrown recently.
That was a nice line. The only thing, I mean, that one, the nose got up on you a little bit, but your arm got to a much better angle. You were able to give that slight anhyzer. That was a nice line. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Nice line.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Just for funsies, now that the wind's died again, let's go with the Roach.
I'll give it a run.
Fan grip my putters here.
Let's see if I can toss one of these in.
And there's a good release.
There you go.
Right where I was aiming, but it didn't fade as much as I
straight disc?
hoped. Yeah, that's a laser beam.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. No warm-ups.
Jeez. Go.
That is true. I always forget that Lunas go so far.
Yeah, that's an amazing disc.
That's a great
If
disc.
that wasn't a rare disc too, I'd probably have 3 of those backed up. But okay, so that single form tip back there on hole 12, it looks like it's going to be very helpful for me moving forward when I think about throwing flat or anhyzer. Not so much lean with my body, but get my elbow up, my pull through higher. Almost think about getting that wrist over my elbow.
Well, and you kind of just showed it, but think about this too, is like the key to hyzer versus anhyzer a lot of time is where your bend is at your waist, and try to move your arm up from down here, right? You can't really do it. It kind of pops you up.
Right.
So some people, it's all about thinking about which body part is going to trigger the movement I want. Some people that comes from the waist and the hips and bending back. But for you, it might be, okay, let's think arm, because once your arm comes up, the rest of your body has to be up. You're going to be more upright.
Right. Okay, that makes perfect sense. All right, hole 13 here is about 355, plays downhill toward the lake. We got a headwind. It's time for Trevor to see me rip one.
I'm excited to see what these DDXs do.
I love these things, man.
Not a lot of familiarity with these discs.
Oh, get down for me. See, that's one of the things that I do when I try to speed up.
Just the nose up a little bit?
Yeah, the whole launch angle too tends to go up.
So at the end of your throw there, you kind of got back on your back leg a little bit, popped it up a little bit. So just think about driving through your line a little bit more. Stay through the shot. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I think that's really all that was. There you go.
Yeah, that was a good swing thought. That felt really good. And that's definitely my best drive
Nice
on this
shot.
hole so far.
Nice
Thank
shot.
you.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Awesome. So my play here, traditionally, with no wind, it's the Sphinx, because I feel like I have the most, that's why I call it my control driver. I feel like I can push that a little farther than the Passion, but do similar things.
Yeah.
So I put it out toward the peak of the hill and aim to come in just past the long grass and hope to get the skid down, if not an easy par.
Yeah, it's a tough hole because of the hillside. It's a blessing and a curse, because if you can play it too wide, you can get caught up on the hill. But ultimately, it's better than being left in the woods. That's what you don't want. So yeah, I would say just another one where keeping the disc low is important, because you don't want to give it too much time if you throw a bad shot to move left. And just, I think your game plan makes sense. Smoothing it out there towards the right where the tall grass kind of meets the field up there, and letting the disc do the rest of the work. I think it makes sense.
And then once again, like if I was to go at the basket, my miss would be over toward that. But going toward that, it stays much safer, because if I make my shot toward the basket, it's
I would
still
say
pretty liable to
on a hole like
fade
this,
down.
on a hole like this where left is so bad and you have so much space to the right, I would say aim pretty traditionally. If you yank it a little bit, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. All right, that makes a lot of sense. Similar principle to hole 16.
Yeah, very much so.
Right, so same thing as last time. Then I'm gonna throw blue Athena, orange Athena, and I need to hit up from there. Got that too high, but that should
the
be.
wind's coming off of the left. It'll drop down in time. That's okay. Yeah,
nice and thick there on the edge.
Yeah, I would say just try to get it a little flatter. Don't give it so much hyzer off the start. There we go.
Getting that.
That can get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there.
Beat the tall grass. Get the skip.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
All right.
There you go. Yeah, a little flatter there. You got a little more forward push.
I really thought about getting that final weight transfer before letting my arm do anything.
Yeah, I think when you finish your shot all the way, you get much smoother, much more nose down flights. And there, I mean, you pushed it a little bit right, but it got enough skip that I think that probably got pretty close.
Yeah, heck yeah. I'm loving it. One more thing before we leave this hole. The wind's probably going to toy with it a little bit. I would like you to throw this and think AB rock before it got too flippy.
So just throw it flat, dead straight.
Throw it how you flew that.
Gosh.
Yeah.
All right, I'll throw it. Yeah. Okay, I got to remember. The wind might push it, but we'll see what happens.
It's probably gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I launched it way past the basket.
Holy cow, what a flight.
It flew just like it, though. It really did.
Well, good, because I want you to have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I have other buzzes that, for my arm speed, cover that slot. That's the only one that really has that flight. And excuse me, I don't really utilize that flight as well as you do.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, that flew great.
Okay, so this is going to wrap it up. We're standing on hole 18 here. Going to throw a couple ace runs for you. It's only 165 feet, so hopefully we can get closer, maybe even get one in. I got a lot of good tips from Trevor today, both in disc selection and course management, as well as physical form things that I can work on moving forward. So I'm real excited. Stay tuned. Let's see what we can do with this form throughout the summer. Trevor, let's go ahead and close this with an ace.
All right. Do something here. Oh, low.
I love the line.
Low on the start.
Love the line.
All right, you got it.
All right. Going with my slightly more stable roach. Oh, not that stable.
All right. Let's see here. Oh, another decent. I'm on the line. I got to get it more height.
Yeah.
A little more height.
I'm going to go with the zone based on that throw that I just had. I was thinking about what you taught me, keeping my wrist up, my elbow up, and I came through nice. So I'm going to try that again. Oh, got way too high on that one. Fell back in my weight again. Awesome. Things to work on.
Oh, man.
So close.
Oh, man. I thought I had that one.
All right. I have never thrown this particular one, I'm going to guess. Oh, that was a bad throw, but it flew like I expected.
All right, I'll try
those roaches are
one more
nice.
fierce here. Oh, low again. Oh, that dropped way right out of the hand. All right, I had one good attempt.
All right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Massive shout out and thanks to Trevor.
Yeah.
Make sure you stop and check out foundationdisc.com, Foundation's YouTube, their podcasts, Trevor's personal channel. It's all good stuff. It's all entertaining. And you might even learn something, especially on Trevor's channel. He's got some good videos out. Oh, that was way too much analyzer.
Sit down. To the wall.
Not practiced at all.